Okay, just double checking. Okay, OBS shows the mic working. Let's see if the stream shows. Yeah, I can hear myself this time in the preview. Rumble Studio preview. All right, so let's catch up to where we were. So here's Camtasia. Yes, Camtasia is what you're seeing. So here's Camtasia. We're already an hour deep into this because the first hour of the stream, I realized just a minute ago that the microphone wasn't being picked up by OBS. Some kind of clash happened, maybe with Camtasia, I don't know, but it wasn't really an hour's worth of work. There's a bunch of me going over stuff, so I'm going to go over that stuff again much more quickly, and then go over what we were doing here in Camtasia. So let's jump over to my website. And well, let me jump to first, so I don't mess this up, OBS, and turn on your ability to see my desktop. Then I jump to my website. Okay. So, streamteam.com is my website I've been working on for a couple years. The purpose of building this website and all the apps on it was to give me grinding experience on using LLMs to write professional applications. I've been coding since writing computer programming since 10 years old. That was 1983 when I started, and I've just never stopped. So obviously that's my career now. With AI threatening that career, I decided to do what I've done with all those technologies that come out that made coding faster, is adopt that tool and master it. So as you can see, creating this website and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 apps A to Z has given me a lot of grinding experience. 2 years of 7 days a week. When I'm not working on my day job, I'm working on this stuff in the evenings. Before that, I spent 3 years of grinding on educating myself on statistics, math, machine learning, neural networks, all of that. And then like I just said, I spent 2 years on mastering using LLMs, which are a type of neural network, LLMs to generate code, because they started getting so good at it. But all these people are talking about, oh, it hallucinates and all this stuff. But I got around all that. After 2 years of experience doing it every day, I found ways around all of that. And so, as you can see here, I've got several apps, and they're all available to you if you come to this website. I'm trying to get people to come and put a little money into it, which will encourage me to keep going and give me feedback. I have a Patreon where you can join a Discord and all this stuff, and with that feedback, you guys can kind of, because I used to be years ago, I used to be a independent contractor consultant. So I'd go into a business, evaluate the business, I'd meet the business owner or somebody high up in their leadership, and then they would tell me about the business, and then have me go around and interview all the people that work in their business, not all of them, but enough of them for the area of what they wanted automated, learn about their business, and then put together a plan, and once they approve it and all that, then actually either by myself or with some team of people just build the software to do all that that they agree to. So I could be doing that for the public, for people who are interested in making things like this. AI, games, content creation, fun stuff, if people join me. So that's that's kind of the whole point of all these videos that I'm doing, all the streaming that I'm doing, is to try to build up some kind of flow of people to this. Anyway, so this one right here is what I'm concentrating on today. So I asked AI a week or so ago, okay, help me build a stream of people to come to this site. And what it suggested was to show off me using this tool. And what this tool does is it generates AI actors that you give it a starting picture of that actor in some scene, wearing some clothes, a certain hairdo, whatever, and a script of what to say, and a sample of what their voice is supposed to sound like, and then it generates that actor doing that. Um, Anywhere from like maybe a 5 second video to up to a 30 second video, and then you make as many of those as you need to and stitch them together into a longer video. And so what AI suggested was we'll make a bunch of shorts, like YouTube shorts of this tool, of videos made using this tool. And then that's showing people what they could do with that tool. And you're doing it in a form that reaches a lot more people, which are these YouTube shorts. And maybe I can reuse them on TikTok. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So that's the point of having, well, yeah, let me, I guess, oh, I don't know, I was going to show that I have a YouTube. Yes, there's a YouTube channel for this as well. As you can see, I've been creating content already using this LipsyncFlow tool, and these down here are from that Tell Me a Tale AI tool. It generates stories. So you can see I've been creating content already and putting it up here, but because of some books that I read about entrepreneurship or something, they're talking about doing all this. So, but the AI suggested doing it in a very specific and methodical way, and that's what I'm working on here today. Let me hide the desktop sharing and go back to just Camtasia. So here, this is the second in a series of these shorts. So the AI and I went around and around until coming up with concepts of shorts to create. The best idea is to make funny shorts, but I consider that the hardest because I'm not a comedian. So I'm putting that off for now and doing these what I consider easier for me to do to get some shorts going and get a pattern going. So the first one I did yesterday, and what AI recommended is to make one of these shorts every day and get it out there. So I have scripts created and the AI actors clips created for 9 of these, and one of them I put together into a video like this yesterday, and now I'm doing the second one here today. So here is the actor clips. Okay, so that's still showing those. Here, let me. This was the last part I was working on, these desert scenes. Let me move those out of the way. That I was working on those right before I realized my mic wasn't coming through on the stream, and I reset the whole stream. Okay, so right here you can see these actor pieces that were generated. These are AI actors generated with my tool. And so then I wrap around those parts other video clips and pieces to put this whole thing together into like a little story. Oh yeah, and I had to generate more clips, 2 more clips, a few minutes ago using my tool. Let me show that real quick. Let me put OBS back into desktop sharing mode. Jump over to my tool. Okay, so I had showed everyone in my stream I'm replacing right now with this stream was that I opened this script I had already started the desert short with, and it contained these rows. Then I realized, well, there's only a few parts in there. I want to add a couple more. I looked at the script and I saw, well, actually, there's a part here he could say, which is the choice, the first choice. He can speak that, and he can speak the second choice. So, and what do I mean by choices? Well, the concept of these shorts is to be a series. That's why you can have one every day. And the concept behind it is create a short that tells a little story, puts the viewer into a situation in that story. Like the one yesterday was you're out walking in your neighborhood and somebody else is out walking their dog. The dog gets loose. The dog's rushing you. What do you do? And then you have a choice, A or B. And so that's just what it is. You should do a short like that every day. You're in some scenario. You have a choice, do this or do that. Right? And so there's a little bit more to it, but that's the basic concept for making the video. And so uh, what I didn't have was him speaking the two choices. Um, and so I went ahead and added those into this tool. I showed how you can come up here and they had to wait in the previous video while I went over and turned on the other computer and started the LipsyncFlow service over there. And what I explained was you're looking at the LipsyncFlow service here, but it's not really the service, it's just the user interface. The service is a separate part that usually would run on the same computer, and your user interface talks to it in the background and to generate all the AI video stuff. But you can also take the back end and put it on another computer, the AI service part, and then have this user interface send jobs over there to get done. So like the other computer has a 4090 NVIDIA GPU in it, and this server and this computer you're on has this user interface. You can send jobs over there to have it render all the AI stuff and then get back the results when you're done. And so this screen here is like step one of that. I went over to the other computer, started up the computer, started the LipsyncFlow service over there, and then I can hit this button to test to make sure it's reachable from here. And it is. It comes back as green, so we're good. And then I showed everybody how I can use this option right here to send just those two rows that I have selected over to that other, because it's remote service. These are for when it's running on the same computer, but these are for when it's running on a remote computer, a different computer, like in my house, for example. It would work over the internet also if you had all the networking set up to do it. But in any case, so this option right here sends just those two rows I've highlighted over, and they're done by now probably. I could check by pulling up this job screen, make sure that row's highlighted, and refresh the status on it, and yeah, it's complete now. So I can download the zip that has the results. That's from yesterday's. So this will be like part 2 of this desert one. All right, so that's downloaded now, and then I can let me jump back over to OBS, turn off full screen, put us back into Camtasia, and then I'm going to go back there to where that zip file is that I just dropped off, and I'm going to unzip that file into a folder so that I can pull those video files out with Camtasia. Okay, so that's done. And I'm back in Camtasia now. Okay, so what that means is I'm going to add more of these clips from that actor that I just got done rendering and downloading from my service, which is running here in my house. I just have 2 different computers. One is the one I'm on now, and the other one is the one that has the NVIDIA 4090 GPU in it that can render AI work, including these videos. So you can see right here is the first batch of them that I included. Now I'm going to add more. Right there, that's what I called it. And so it has different parts and pieces that the AI generates for the job. I'm jumping right down to the videos that have everything put together. Move these 2 in. Hopefully it's these 2. I need to come up with a better way of naming them before putting them into Camtasia. But let's test, listen to it, and see if that's it. Christ, it's loud. There's some way of editing the audio. Right there. Yeah, it's just too loud. I wonder if the one from yesterday was, but I'm wearing headphones and I wasn't yesterday, so maybe that's the difference. Yeah, let me turn the audio down on my headphones. Yeah, they're all the way up. That's probably. Let me undo my changes here. I don't want to mess it up just because I'm doing something different with my headphones today. Okay, so that worked. Came across just right. Okay, the reason I said that is because I was worried in the previous video, which is now gone because my mic wasn't working. I said I'm not sure if the script. So here, am I sharing my screen? Here, let me share my screen again. I wasn't sure if this script where I put a period at the beginning would freak the AI out or not, but it didn't. It worked perfectly. Put a pause right there, just like I wanted. So we'll play it again. Okay, perfect. So that adds a little bit more time, talking time of the actor into the video. Maybe it's enough for this particular short. So where we left off, actually, before I discovered the mic wasn't working, is we were looking at this desert scene for the intro, or right after the intro. This is the intro. And the intro is going to be the same for each one of these. It's like a TV show or something. It's just you'll see like the very beginning and go, oh, it's one of those. What will you do? And then it obviously does a quick flash by saying the name of this app, LipsyncFlow, that I used to make this, which I made LipsyncFlow in that Stream Team website. So I'm obviously doing this to get people to go, oh, maybe I can make things like this. And yes, you can at home if you have a GPU that's 24 gigabytes of RAM or more in it. I use a 4090. I assume a 3090 and 5090 will both work, but I use a 4090. Okay, so then the idea is it jumps over to this desert scene, but the problem I ran into, yes, was this guy here. He's wet. He's all wet, but we're in the desert, so we need to figure out something else to replace that with. I had come up to my Camtasia video footage library, typed in Scream, and that's where this guy was, which I need to replace with something else. It'd be nice if they had somebody like out in the desert screaming, but I don't know. Can I type in desert scream and get that? I don't think that's the vibe for this short. No, I don't. I don't have anything that's good for that. It doesn't look like. I wonder if there's more up in their online library. Give me just a second. I'm signing into their website and looking to see if, because I pay extra for their asset library for Camtasia, and I don't know if they show them all right there in Camtasia, or if you have to go to the website to see more. Okay, so these looks like the same first few. Desert Scream, same guy, same lady at the fence, the same crazy person wearing the mask. So it looks like it's just, yeah, exactly the same list as in the app. So, we're going to have to figure out something else to do with this. This is where even though we're using AI, just like that Del Noren guy, that streamer Del Noren, does this. He's mostly a Star Citizen streamer, but it's like Del Noren Gaming, so he does other games too. But anyway, so he created a 6.5 hour long radio story, sort of like they used to have a long time ago, where they would have somebody on a radio telling a story with commercials in between, and they probably had some music segments in between or something too. But so that's what his is it's a story. So you see people talking. So it seems like a radio announcer, quite frankly, in their studio talking to you. But that person ends up getting involved in all kinds of crazy stuff later. But then they cut to music and they're playing music. So it's like a radio station in the future for people flying spaceships and stuff around. And but then things happen to the characters in the story that are in the radio station and other people they know. And so anyway, so there's a lot of creativity involved in coming up with the story and putting the pieces all together, even though you're using AI to create pieces of that story. Just like I'm doing here, I'm creating AI for this character, this guy here. But all the rest of this is not AI, or if it's different AI, making some different pieces of it. But in this case, I don't think any of the rest of it's AI. It's just stuff that I got out of Camtasia's library, which could have been made with AI by somebody else, as far as I know. Oh, that part right there does include AI. I had AI make that and that logo, quite frankly. Okay, so this guy, gotta do something about him. I don't. What are the chances we put like a video effect on him and make him look like he's not wet anymore? I don't know. You really can't see the water in the background, but he still looks kind of wet to me. I don't know. Maybe another effect, some kind of grain, film grain or something like that. Maybe I'm just not calling it the right thing. Quite frankly, I don't remember even coming over to filters ever before. Even though I've been using this app every day for years. Mission to Mars. Who knows? Maybe that'll do something. That's closer to what I was trying to do, probably, as far as the callers. Yeah, this is mainly caller filters, like preset caller settings, so I don't have to manually do it. It does actually help. The blend, I don't know if any of this can help, but yeah. Yeah, you pretty much have lost the ability to see that he's wet or in front of water. I mean, his shirt is wrinkled, funny. Like it does look like it's stuck to him for some reason still, like it would when it's wet. But it's hard to see that it's wet. So that's probably a lot closer than I'm going to get trying to find a completely different video that does something similar to that. Um, sure wish they had some kind of a grainy effect to add into it. Right there. I want to stop right there. I don't want that second car coming in. So then what I'm going to do, because then it'll just go away, it'll just become black if I do it that way, like that. I'm going to come to the very end here, right click on it, and say extend frame. And it creates, well, I don't know why it does what it's doing. I don't know why it does that little extra end on there. I don't know what that's about, but it creates this frame that's just the last frame that you had selected there, and just that's it. It's like a picture, and then you can stretch it out, and it doesn't ever move. It's just that picture where it stops. Video just kind of stops there. So now it's the same length again, even though I cut that part out. Okay, I'm wanting to do something here that I'm not sure what. Maybe a zoom in on that. Yeah, they don't have a zoom in there like that. Have to do it under animation. I wonder would that do anything? No. It's not. Hmm. Yeah, you couldn't even tell it was moving because of that zoom effect. Let's put it towards the end. See what that does. Hmm. This kind of makes it bigger. I don't really like that effect. Get rid of that. We'll do the zoom and manual zoom and pan. Oh, no, we won't. Because that will do it to the whole screen. Yeah. Oh, that might be okay. I don't know. Let's see what that does. if I can use this. Motion path. They literally mean motion path, not animate any property that you want. Yeah, I think that's what that is. Custom. Okay. Here, and so by the time we get to here, I want to make this like that. So it's like that right there is where they're lost. And to make it a little bit more exciting, a little bit more dynamic, let's add some animation. Animations. Yeah. No, not animate. Transitions. I want them to fly in. Maybe it is animations. Huh. What that would look like. Looks pretty artsy. Need that. It's extra processing for no reason. There we go. Okay, so let's see about making that one fly in. Well, transitions. Okay, let's try animations. For some reason, I was thinking there was a flying from the left type thing, flying from the right, but motion path will do it. But it's looking for an easy drag drop solution here. Okay, ease in, ease out, both, right? Okay. Actually, ease in is unnecessary because it's off screen. And that did nothing. Okay, got it in reverse order. Damn it. Yes, that's right. You start off screen, then you end up over here. Though they don't show the end point, so okay, there. I can see it. It's fine, but it needs to happen sooner. Still sooner. Just like that. Okay. Gonna need some audio there. Okay. So let's go look for audio. Like music, probably. Something that sounds dramatic and dangerous, scary, something. Um, Heartbeat, maybe. Something like that. Let's start off with heartbeat. Where, yeah, the heartbeat sound effect. Right there, heartbeat slow. Let's see what that sounds like. That's good. No, what are you doing? Put another track above manually since you're getting figured out. Put that in there. Or hold it. What's this last part sound like? Don't care about that. He's not in a hospital. It sounds more ominous. Okay. Okay, so let's put a little clip in right there. Of where's my video? Go back, videos, footage. I don't know, sun right in your face. More of that, even maybe. I don't like that. Okay, visual effect to really reinforce that sun on that desert scene. Um, Maybe it's a transition. Flare, lens flare. Flare 2, flare 1. Let's see what that looks like. Let's try that. Okay, what I'm going to have this one do is zoom in on him. It's going to kind of leave it as like a photo like that with black stripe up above and below, but then zoom in on him as he's speaking. So they could see the desert behind him and then get the close-up of him as he's talking. Unlike the first one, which was mostly pre-zoomed in on him. Stretch it out to make it take longer. Let's make it take longer. It's a short clip, so it's going to go fast no matter what. So. And then this one, I don't even need to have, I can just have it pre-zoomed in again, even more than before. Okay. Okay, so what's going on here? Some stuff's overlapping for me just dropping stuff in. Hold it. What's this? Say. Okay, so let's move that and put. Let's just move all of this. Out of the way. Put that. I think that's A and B. Okay. So I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to come to the very end and do that extend frame thing again. But this time, and there's a reason for it, because I'm going to have two of these up there at once, which is going to seem strange at first, but something like that. So there's going to be two of them, right? But the top one's really just a frozen frame of the last frame of the first video. And then visual effects. Maybe that. And intensity, take it way down. Maybe. What does that look like? Huh. Okay, so you see the effect there. So it gives that A-B effect. The top one's over. Now it's time for the bottom one, B. Okay, let's watch everything from there forwards and see what happens. Okay, so that needs to be bigger. Okay, so that's generally it. There's some audio effects for sure that I heard in there. It needs to be done. Emphasis. Emphasis right there. So all the parts where he's speaking, we need emphasis added. And what that will do is reduce the volume on any other clips that are playing at the same time, which really is only happening right there and right there because that music is playing in the background while he's talking, right here. Okay, so that needed emphasis also. Forgot about that part. Okay, let's watch the whole thing, get a feel for what we got here. Okay, so that's pretty much it. Um, I've got one done yesterday, the 9, this one today, 7 more after that, and then I'll decide what I want to do next. Um, maybe I'll just keep doing them every day, like AI said. or I'm thinking about possibly mixing it up and trying some different versions of these, like different theme entirely from these, but still the basic structure, same structure of shorts, just a different scenario, different types of scenarios. Basically, these are real world scenarios, and there are alternatives to real world scenarios, but I'm just not going to talk about that right now because I may not even do it. But in any case, uh, but I'm definitely going to be driving forwards with these shorts of whatever kind, because I think the AI is right about that from what I've looked into for the statistics, the stats. Um, Definitely shorts appear to be where you can grab the most eyeballs the fastest, and so um, and that's all I really need. I'm trying to do sort of like a Kickstarter without Kickstarter. Um, I guess I could do Kickstarter. I don't know, but all I'm really trying to do is just get a group of people, meaning customers, that are interested in using AI to make fun things. The big companies are concentrating on making business things for sure, and big money making things. Though making content, fun content on your PC at home, can also result in money, obviously. But so streamers could use the tools that I'm making. Gamers, hobbyists. The direction that it goes, at least my dream of it, is but a bunch of customers show up, thousands, tens of thousands, and some percentage of those get on the Discord and sign up on the Patreon and get on the Discord and start talking to me and saying, well, I'd like this feature or I'd like that feature. I'd like it to also be able to do this or that or the other, and then I can go evaluate those requests just like I would over the years for customers that I've worked for, and either say, okay, that's worth doing, or that would be too costly, or we could do like half of that because trying to go all the way with that would require even beyond what AI can do or something. Who knows? But evaluate all of these different ideas. It's brainstorming of tens of thousands of people if you have tens of thousands of customers. So then the brainstorming coming from that collection of that cloud of minds should bubble forth great ideas that, when stitched all together, create some new thing that where Stream Team goes from what it is now to that. I've built the foundation of it. There's a book. I don't even remember the name of the book right now. I have it in my audios, I think. It's an audio book I was listening to while I was out walking every day. And it was basically about how to do the entrepreneur thing, which I have not done over the years. If you don't count being an independent contractor that goes around and does projects for people. To do a real business type thing where you're interacting with the public is not what I'm accustomed to. So, but if that happens, if that somehow gets developed, I'm trying to use AI to help me do that with things like YouTube. If that happens, then all those ideas should bubble up and then get prioritized, and then I make them happen. With AI's help, I can add in just more and more and more and more of these things. I'm looking at a new one today that I'm adding in, at least for myself. It's an open source library that I found that does something very powerful connected to this LipsyncFlow app, if I can get it to work. But the licensing of it turned out to be that even though they made it open source, they don't want it to be used in commercial stuff, so I can't use that. But I can probably use AI to make my own. Now that I've got the idea in my head about how I can incorporate that concept into LipsyncFlow, I'll just make a custom version of it that does just with the parts that I need and none of the rest, and not even have to worry about the licensing then because I made my own, uh, with AI's help, of course. So things, there's I'm going to be doing stuff like that anyway, but I would like to get people's ideas besides just mine. Um, my ideas are very tightly constrained around my nerd point of view on the world. So hopefully, especially if content creator type people start buying my apps and giving me feedback, then I'm sure those type of artsy minded people will have ideas that I can implement that will be much better than my own. My ideas are very technical, so my ideas come in better after some artsy or some insightful type of person comes up with some feature that they really want for their world, and then I apply my ideas about how to make that thing happen in some highly efficient way or something like that. Um, and combine that teamwork, then makes something that's actually valuable for others. So it's a good idea for other art content creators, and it's viable because I can make sure it is viable. Either it won't be turned into a real feature because there's too many blockers in the way that keeps it from happening, or with AI's help, I can find a way around and say, oh yes, I can make a Windows version of this library that's only works on Linux, and so then I can get around the blocker or whatever, and then if I can get around all those blockers and make it work, then I can bake it into the app, and give it to everyone out there who's working with me, and then they have those abilities before anybody else does. Um, and that's what I'm doing, spending all my time on for the past few years. It's just scouring over the different AI libraries that people are making, since my job isn't really to do that, unfortunately. I do AI stuff at work, but it's not that type of thing, which is what I'd really rather to be doing, is making all these neural networks that do something important. But the secondary one level down below that is using all the library neural networks that libraries that other people are making and stitching them together into a workflow that is some kind of a useful tool for people to use, and that's the route I'm taking with it. If I don't, since I'm not on some big neural network team like OpenAI or something, I can take the libraries made by others, stitch them together, and deliver them as a useful tool to all of you. Of course, as I'm saying, if all of you would join me and give feedback, that would make this much easier. And I'm not like charging a bunch of money. In fact, I'm charging way, way less. To make these AI actor videos, I'm pretty sure companies are charging hundreds per month. And mine's just, or at least right now, I'm just trying to lure people in. I'm thinking about actually charging like $100 one-time fee for it, but for right now, it's up there on my store as $55. I send you a USB key, and it has the same LipsyncFlow app on it. And all you have to do is copy and paste the USB key off onto your internal hard drive, and you're done. You don't have to try to get it to install these Python libraries and stuff. At least my testing of it works that way. I've tried it on 3 different PCs and with different GPUs and stuff, and I even bought a PC so that it was brand new from scratch. I could test installing stuff on it and not have any developer tools or anything on there that could trick me into thinking that it's working. I wanted to simulate an actual brand new PC that somebody could go to the store and buy. And if I put LipsyncFlow on it, what happens? If I just copy and paste LipsyncFlow off of the USB key onto that new PC, brand new PC, what happens? Does it work, or do I have to install a bunch of stuff? And for me, it just totally worked. You don't have to install a bunch of stuff, and that's exactly what I wanted. The way I wanted it to work. Because getting these AI libraries to work at all, because they're Python libraries, and a lot of them are conflicting versions with each other. Like one part of the AI uses this one version of a library, and another part of an AI that you need also uses a different version of the same library, and they're not compatible. There's ways of getting around it, but it's a big pain in the butt. And I got around all those, and to get them to work on Windows on top of that, that's all another pain in the butt. I got all that to work, and just put pre-installed onto the USB stick, and it's like 250 gig USB stick with all the models, libraries, everything's on there, AI models, all that's on there, and so it makes it super easy. But no, you need a group of people to take and be using it and giving feedback. And I've got that Del Noren who's using it and giving feedback, and that's what helped quite a bit. That's proof that it works. Now, if I had tens of thousands of Del Norens all doing that, we could create something great. That is useful to millions. But in any case, I'm obviously done streaming, so I'm just flapping my lips now. So I'm going to end the stream, and thanks, and hopefully somebody gets something useful out of it.